adult, Danny, his fitness goal is to be able to take a punch. What does that mean to you?
Well, I guess what it meant to me when we were shooting was that he is expecting he's sort of expecting the other shoe to drop, just generally in his life,
Mm-hmm.
like something's going to happen.
And he wants to be prepared for that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
whatever it is. Um,
It also makes sense then that it doesn't make sense to Guy Pearce's character, who is so eternally optimistic and refuses to acknowledge there is another shoe.
yeah, he says he understands, but later on he's telling Kat how weird Danny is, how weird this guy was who came in. But I mean, yeah, I'd like to be able to take a punch. That punch could be not just it could be it could mean anything, some disease could befall you, and if you're well exercised, if you're in shape enough, you can. All that stuff can help you if you get into that kind of trouble down the line. I know that not from my own experience, but other people in my life. It's a good thing you did all that running.
It comes in handy later, potentially.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, when Danny's getting into the process of learning to work out, he brings up the Ministry of Silly Walks. Are you a Monty Python fan?
Yes.
Has that been at all influential when you're working, or?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how specifically, but it's in there. It's just one of those constant things that so I love those guys. I actually got to meet them a month and a half ago.
At the Tribeca thing?
At the 40th anniversary of the Holy Grail screening. I was already doing some jury work for the festival, and I said, how's a guy like me get to actually meet those guys? Because I had a +1 pass. I was going to see the movie anyway. I was like, I want to meet them. So they helped me out. They helped me. I got to meet Michael Palin, and that was a real dream. I was... Yeah, and Andrew put that in the script about I didn't even, it seems like, you would think that I ad-libbed that, but I didn't. He put it in, because he's a fan too, so we were clicking that way.
Yeah, that was a great night. I went to that event. It was crazy.
Oh, wasn't it great?
We're John Cleese is running around, and Terry Gilliam's underneath his coattails, literally.
It was unforgettable. So great.
What's the weirdest advice you've ever gotten from a trainer?
The weirdest advice I've ever gotten from a trainer. I don't recall. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't quite have an answer for that. It's all weird. Every bit of advice I've ever gotten ended up being kind of weird, and making me, well, I did what they told me, and I'm in pain now,
So I guess it's working.
Yeah, well, Anthony Michael Hall has that line in Results: "Pain is king. No pain, no gain." All that stuff, I don't know how true all that is. Yeah, you do have to. There is a certain amount of distressing that has to go on, I guess. But anyway, yeah, the whole thing is weird to me. So
Well, last year you were in a movie that I thought was kind of underrated because it was very ambitious. Is there anything you could tell us about the production of Winter's Tale and how that kind of came to be?
About Winter's Tale, the director of that movie, I think he also adapted the script from the book. So passion, labor of love for that guy, and I auditioned for it. It was the third time I've worked with Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a bit of a connection there, and I'm glad I was in it. I've always wanted to work on a period piece, and that was 1910 or something, and I got to meet Eva Marie Saint. That was beautiful. A Love on the Waterfront. So that was a lot of you know, there's a lot of benefits of being in that thing. And it came out pretty good. It's a sentimental film.
Mhm.